Finally, the Ram temple is rising in Ayodhya. The sacred land millions revere as Lord Ram's birthplace. End of an era of violent political, social, communal and legal disputes and altercations that rocked the country for more than a century. This is Avadh, the land which witnessed the confluence of Buddha Jain Hindu faiths. The land that had begun to lose its glory as a political center with the shifting of capital from Faizabad to Lucknow by Asaf ud-Daula, Avadh's fourth Nawab. In the following period, Avadh was destined to witness one of India's bitterest conflicts in history. The Supreme Court verdict of 2019 that permitted the construction of the Ram Temple is the latest turning point in the turbulent history. The Apex Court also granted land outside the disputed territory to build a new mosque. The landmark judgment led the Mandir Masjid dispute to give way to the temple construction. So, what would be Ayodhya's new mission in history? What awaits the ordinary folks of Ayodhya and Faizabad, whose lives have been in the throes of uncertainty ever since the demolition of the Babri Masjid in 1992?
हम लोग भी यही चाहते रहे कि अब ये मुकदमा खत्म हो जाए, किसी तरीके से भी खत्म हो जाए, जिससे एक हमारे देश का भाईचारा बना रहा है। हम लोग हिंदुस्तान के मुसलमान हैं, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान के वफादार भी हैं। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने फैसला कर दिया, हमने उसका सम्मान किया। मंदिर का काम तो शुरू है।
Even as the question remains of whether the Supreme Court verdict would resolve the conflict that deeply embarrassed secular India, Ayodhya is entering its new tryst with destiny. What more would be added by the new temple to the Indian heritage, endowed with a multitude of grand edifices that evoked admiration and wonder? The latest marvel is planned to withstand at least the next millennium, successfully weathering the inevitable strokes from Father Time and Mother Nature.
Whole challenge was you must have specifications which will have 1,000 years.
So we have designed this temple life more than 1,000 years. To achieve this, we are not using concrete and steel because the life of concrete and steel is limited. We are using pure stone here, and wherever clamping something required, so those we are using copper. So copper and stone life is enormous. So it is okay, proven and more than 1,000 years.
मीटिंग्स हो रही हैं सारे एक्सपर्ट के साथ, पूरे दुनिया भर के एक्सपर्ट से जो है संपर्क किया जा रहा है और उस हिसाब से मंदिर जो है एक बहुत भव्य रूप में सामने आए.
Finally, after all these years we've been waiting for, and it's not only the Indians in India is happy, but it's actually Indians and outside India is very happy, and this will bring the value to India, which is second, third, fourth generation love to come back and visit their Janmabhoomi.
This is not going to stay only for 1,000 years, even beyond that. This is the concept, and then this should become a monument of its only kind in the world. That is the way it has been brought up.
We are dependent on the best brain of this country in the field of engineering.
A lifespan of 1,000 years, nothing less, according to those who create the modern temple. A tower of faith on the confluence of multiple religions for the Hindu flag to be hoisted again.
ये मामला जो भी रहा, ये कोर्ट में रहा, लोअर कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट, सुप्रीम कोर्ट। हाई कोर्ट का फैसला हुआ तो इससे पहले भी हमारे जो है पिताजी ने जो है उसको भी मान लिया था, लेकिन जो है निर्मोही अखाड़ा नहीं माना, वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट चला गया, तो 10 साल सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी जाना पड़ा।
Islamic year 935, Gregorian year 1528 to 29. A mosque was built as directed by the Mughal invader Babur by his minister Mir Bakui. 1856 to 57, history of Hindu-Muslim conflicts claiming the land. This was followed by the British constructing an iron grill, apportioning it between the two communities. Muslims granted the inner courtyard and the Hindus the outer courtyard. 30th November 1858. The first police case registered by Sheetal Dubey, Awad Station, house officer against Nihan Sikhs who installed their Nishan and wrote Ram inside the mosque. 1885. Suit filed by Mahant Raghuveer Das in the Faizabad District Civil Court seeking permission to construct a temple outside the mosque. Suit and subsequent appeals dismissed. 1934. Hindu-Muslim riots. Damages made to the mosque were repaired by the British authorities. 1949. December 22nd to 23rd. A group of 60 entered the mosque during the night and placed idols inside the central dome. 1949, December 29th, Faizabad City Magistrate attached the entire property and appointed a receiver, opening up an era of continuous litigation. 1950, January 16, first Ayodhya case in independent filed by Gopal Singh Visarad of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, praying for the right to pray and conduct puja in the inner courtyard. The civil judge allowed the puja. 1959, December 17th, Nirmohi Akhada, a group of Vaishnavite monks, filed a suit to take over the management of the entire Ram Janmabhoomi property from the receiver. 1961, December 18th, Sunni Waqf Board filed suit in Faizabad Civil Court seeking removal of idols from the mosque and handing over the mosque's possession. 1986, Jan 25th, Umesh Chandra Pandey, an advocate, filed suit seeking permission to remove the locks and allow darshan of the idols. 1986, February the 1st, Faizabad District Court orders the opening of locks and allowed darshan for Hindus. Babri Masjid Action Committee formed. 1986, February the 3rd, High Court stays the order to reopen the locks. 1989, July 1st, a suit filed in Allahabad High Court by Devaki Nandan Agarwal, a retired judge and VHP leader, claiming to represent the deity Ram Lalla Virajman, seeking possession. All suits related to the dispute shifted to Special Bench of Allahabad High Court. 1992, December 6th, Babri Masjid demolished. 1993, central government takes over 68 acres of disputed property through new legislation. 2002, October 23rd, High Court directs Archaeological Survey of India to conduct primary investigation to know if temple existed underneath the mosque. 2003, ASI's preliminary report confirming the existence of a temple. 2003, March 5, ASI directed to conduct excavation. 2003, August 22nd, ASI report confirming the evidence of temple beneath the mosque. 2010, September 30th, Allahabad High Court verdict to divide the disputed property into 3 parts, each part to be given to Ram Lalla, represented by VHP, Sunni Waqf Board and Nirmohi Akhada. 2011, May 9th, Supreme Court stays the High Court decision. 2019, January 8th, Supreme Court constitutes 5-member bench to hear the case. 2019, March 8th, Supreme Court forms mediation panel headed by Justice FMI Khalilullah and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and Sri Ram Panchu as members. Panel fails to reach consensus. 2019, November 9th, Supreme Court judgment to allow construction of Ram Temple at the disputed site and decides to grant land for a mosque outside the site. 2020, August 5th, construction begins.
So when we went inside, we saw that the pillars of the mosque was temple pillars. So now the question comes, how do you say that these are the temple pillars? Temple pillars would be having always that this one Purna Kalasha would be there. On the lower part of it, it would be engraved. And then there are certain temple motifs also, that chain and bell motifs would be there, which is seen in almost all the temples. These kinds, and then there were certain defaced sculptures also. This was seen, so we could tentatively date it also that it belongs to 12th century. And it was on the basis of that earlier we came to the conclusion that this was part of the temple.
देखिए कोर्ट ने फैसला कर दिया कि जो है किसी को कोई इतराज नहीं हुआ ना, जो है सारे मुसलमानों ने उसका सम्मान किया कि चलिए कोर्ट ने फैसला किया, हम हिंदुस्तान में मुसलमान हैं, संविधान को मानते हैं। आज तक जो है हमारे जो है जितने हमने होश संभाला है, कभी हिंदू मुसलमानों का एक मुकदमा जो है मारपीट का किसी थाने में नहीं है। ये हमारे यहाँ की अयोध्या की एक पहचान है।
What forms the core of the architecture of faith? It is the spiritual tower created by human skill that transports the devotee standing humble and helpless before a divine presence. That is intangible yet experiential to the rarefied realms of devotion. It is a performance manual that humbles humans naturally. How does this surreal architecture become humanly possible is its mystery and suspense. The modern Ram Shrine is being built not by those blessed sculptors of yore buried anonymously in history, who could feel the heart of stone with their hands, touched by gods. Today professionals from the Larsen & Toubro, Tata Consultancy Services and the Indian Institutes of Technology work together to create this contemporary temple. L&T has already left its mark on the various structures at the hallowed Venkateshwara temple of Tirupati and also the Lotus temple a quarter century ago.
Here we are using all possible technologies. Design wise also we are using all facilities available in the India, best facilities. Okay, like this thing, this entire design is being done by L&T design team. It is being checked by Tata. TC is involved in the project, and apart from that, this we are getting help from IIT professors and NIT professors.
This country never had a scarcity of great structures that have defied time and turbulence. So what should a new structure that hopes to join that super league be built with? Stone, wood or metal?
When compared to all the rocks available, granite has got the highest strength. That is one thing. Second thing is it has got a very low water absorption character. So then it has got a very good PV velocity, so something around 4,500 to 6,000 meters per second, indicating a very strong rock. So the compressive strength values are something more than the 150 MPa to 250 MPa. So normally we follow certain standards, the Indian standards as well as the the ASTM standards to qualify the stones.
The new Ram temple is not being built at a time when natural resources are abundantly available like in the past. So how would the resources be organized for a new structure when stone and wood are so scarce and enormously expensive?
You can say big volumes are there. We have done 2 lakh cubic meter of excavation we have done, and entire thing we have filled with RCC, roller compacted concrete. We source more than 10,000 truckload of aggregates here. We are using 17,000 big blocks, granite blocks, which is coming from Bangalore. There again investment. Then superstructure, if you will see this temple, so there 4.5 lakh CFT of Bansi Parpur stone we are going to use. So this entire thing, then Parkota will come.
Gone too are the days of those architects who created music from the stones. Nevertheless, we have been fortunate to be blessed with those great lessons of art they preached and practiced. Today, the quality of each granite block is also assessed in the most scientific manner.
The first thing is the visual observation. In this case, what we do is we use this hammer. So this is called as geological hammer. So in this geological hammer, when you are hitting it, you get a metallic sound. Okay, if there is anything, any crack, it will give a dummy sound for the what. Now you can see the actual structure and the grains. Earlier you are seeing only that white. Now you can see the inner thing. Now these are the mica bands, foliation planes. Okay, these are all here. So now what we do is we see with this if any cracking is there or not. So this is a good block. So this is not going to affect the strength of the material. And then we will be using a SMID hammer. This is called a SMID hammer. So in this what we do is we use this SMID hammer to measure rebound hardness. So this will give you the hardness value of the rock. So whenever I have a doubt, I have a magnifying glass. So what we do is I look at the structure, this one. I look into this. So this is okay. This is not going to have a crack. So what we are doing is not only testing here, we will be testing the stones even at the quarry level.
Streets of Ayodhya and Avadh still bear the remnants of a golden age of architecture. We can still listen to the pulse of the past that resonates with the tales, wars, gharanas, thumris and Kathak. The Orient has a glorious architectural legacy. Talents who knew the heart of architecture were never scarce in Indian soil. The marvelous Nagara sculptures of Khajuraho. The Madurai magic of Naikars. The Chola heritage of Tanjavur. Each of these marvels was born in stone. Amazing structures that never tremble before time or tyrants. The aspiration for today's temple is to touch that phenomenal strength of those megastructures. How is it possible?
This is the first temple where there we designed for seismic load, the earthquake and all those things. And there, these all joints we are using tongue and groove. Male female joints are there. One stone will have some groove there, other stone will have a key. So both will fit together and we will seal with a mortar. Apart from that, we are using copper clamps also. We are sourcing these stones from Bansi Parpur. Nearby some areas are there like Pindwada and Abu. So there ample craftsmen availabilities are there.
The imposing Kalinga spires of Bhubaneswar. The Badami Chalukya tradition of Middle Ages. The Hoysala architecture of Deccan. The Dravidian brilliance of Hampi. They collectively form a veritable museum of Indian architects' tradition and magic. newer generations have scaled newer heights of invention with the passage of time, yet they have kept losing out to their predecessors in the field of architecture. Each of these marvels was born in stone. Stones are of different casts: granite, sandstone, limestone, and so on. What is the mission of each of them?
Granite we are using for build up of a plinth. The entire temple load is coming on top of this thing. But when we will use this temple stones, so there it should be give a more aesthetic. Carving should be very fine in this one. So that is why we selected sandstone with a very fine grains.
If you look at the Indian history, almost every sacred place is made out of, carved out of stones only. So stones is a natural material, and then this material has got a durability first of all, and then it can amend itself for any type of carving. If you look at almost about 150 varieties of granite is available in the country.
According to the Western Christian concept of architecture, church is the innard of Mother Mary. Large spaces where big congregations assemble. Not so with Hindu shrines. They are intense spaces that lead each devotee on a solitary journey to the sanctum sanctorum of the deity. It launches a mystic trip from the macro to the micro. It enables a marvelous voyage to the summit of devotion. The new Ram Temple intends to touch, with the help of technology, this height of architecture that humanity could master with talent and perseverance.
Here we are sure of everything. Those days it was only by assumption that we have done it, that it will be fine. But today it is not so. So we are applying the factor of safety, and we are seeing that every input is there, and this is being modeled, and then we are beyond doubt that whatever we are doing is, doubtful. No doubt exists in this.
Ayodhya's history of 1200 years narrates a roller coaster journey. From a lonely village on the banks of Sarayu to a theatre of wars, compromises, and culture sought out by kings, hermits, reformers, and ascetics. The echoes of this past continue to resonate on the banks of Sarayu even today. But how would the temple transform today's Ayodhya? The city was last reconstructed by Shuja-ud-Dawla, the Nawab of Awadh, from 1754 to 1775. Faizabad and Ayodhya have since spent their lives in the past. How could the new Ram Temple contribute to the lives of people in Ayodhya?
इससे अयोध्या में पर्यटन बढ़ेगा तो अयोध्या में होटल्स आएंगे, अयोध्या में बड़े बड़े आउटलेट्स बनेंगे, लोगों को रोजगार मिलेगा।
ये कोई नई बात नहीं है, सरकार तो इसका प्रचार करती है कि अब आदमी बहुत बढ़ेंगे। आदमी यहाँ पहले से बढ़े हुए हैं।
2023 അതൊരു ലോകവ്യാപകമായ ഡെസ്റ്റിനേഷനായി മാറും.
There'll be an airport coming, lot of foreign tourists coming, we'll be bringing a lot of revenue.
Every year when we visit India, temples are always on our itinerary.
आज यहाँ पर आप आए हैं तो संभवतः 2 या 3 होटल से ज़्यादा बड़े होटल नहीं हैं। आपको भी हो सकता है कठिनाई हुई हो, टैक्सी की सुविधा कम है। यह सब आने वाले 2 वर्ष में हमको डेवलप अवश्य करना है।
A land which stood frozen in time for long is waiting in the wings to be a smart city. Urban development and betterment of the lives of people are being eagerly awaited. Yet, notwithstanding its limitations, this little region on the banks of Sarayu had played a crucial role in deciding the stability of the thrones of Delhi. A thunder in Ayodhya used to shake the peacock throne of the Mughals until the Persian invader Nadir Shah seized and smuggled it out of the country. Ayodhya has lived to tell the tales of power struggles for centuries more, and quietly flows the Sarayu, the witness to eternal cycles of life and death, rise and fall, of ordinary mortals, celebrated kings and gods too.